talked to a friend recently. She's about my age, and she was struggling with a new life change. She'd owned her own business for many, many years, very successful. And because of a confluence of situations, she was now going to be closing down her business, working for someone else. She wasn't sure if that's what she should do. And all her friends around her were telling her, you deserve to do this. You deserve to own, you deserve to be happy. And she wasn't comfortable with the things that she was hearing because she started questioning herself. She was questioning, am I a loser? I'm using my own words. Am I a loser because I'm going to work for someone else? Is that even what God wants of me? And so on and so forth. And because of what I've made of myself, am I going backwards, and so on and so forth. And I really wish I could remember the conversation, but it was about a month ago. And what she wasn't prepared for, but she was so thrilled when I said it, was that, um, uh, I'll just say, Susan, uh, you know what? You don't deserve anything. You have not done any of this on your own. Your wealth, your success isn't because of per se you, right? But I said, you are a sinner. You are a wretch. You are undeserving. You deserve to burn in hell. I deserve to burn in hell. We all are sinners, and we all deserve to burn in hell because we've all sinned. Thank God. Those of us who are choosing it are sinners saved by grace, right? So, thank God I can go to heaven. But what I was saying to her was, you are nothing without God. You can do nothing without God. You deserve nothing except that you are made in the image and likeness of God. And in Him, you have value. And I do believe, excuse me, that she was questioning confidence, lack of confidence, belief in myself. What should I do? What shouldn't I do? And that's when I said to her, your confidence should never be in yourself because you didn't do any of this. You were obedient. There are people who don't obey God. You did what you believe was God's will for you all these years. But the success is not because of you. And I want to be very careful about that because it has to be known, the thinking behind this, right? I remember a very, very, very wealthy plastic surgeon that I had met years ago at my daughter's cheerleading competition. And when I was talking to him, he was like, I've done all this on my own, basically saying, I've made this successful. I've made things successful. Everybody else can make themselves successful. It's because of my choices, my this, my that. And I remember it struck me back then. I was like, you may have been obedient, but it wasn't you. It was God who chose you for that vocation, you to go on that path. He could have chosen you to be a trash collector, and that wouldn't have changed his value. The fact that he was a plastic surgeon making deep six figures made him more or less valuable than the trash collector. And that trash collector making $50,000 is no more, no less valuable than the plastic surgeon. So going back to my girlfriend, I said, you follow what God wants of you, and just forgetting that it's not you who is, how should I say this? If you are obedient, that's where your success is. So if God has you transitioning to this working for someone else, even if it's just for a short time, and then you go somewhere else after that, then just be obedient to it. You are successful when you humble yourself before God's will. When I was thinking of this video, it really wasn't that story that I was thinking about. It's this thing that just kept coming to me again and again. I thought, how am I going to talk about that? And it's really about, so make the connection here, this concept of self-esteem. We hear it all the time. Teach your children to have self-esteem. They should love themselves. Now, on its surface, it sounds really great. Shouldn't you love yourself? There is a fine difference in loving myself and thinking I'm all that in a bag of chips, or even not thinking I'm all that in a bag of chips, but just saying, I esteem myself. I am good. I'm worthy. Because that is one of the ways Satan gets us. Because really, you're not worthy. I don't want to teach my daughters, my grandchildren, self-esteem. I want to teach them God esteem, because anything that pretty much begins with self goes against humility, unless, of course, what follows it is the word less, right? Selfless. But if you think about it, self-centered, self-esteem, I'm esteeming me. Self-awareness is good. But it's one of the tricks Satan has used. That sounds really good. Just esteem yourself. You are worthy. No, tweak it. You are not worthy. You are dirt on the ground that God formed together. This ball of clay, still unworthy until he blew his life into you. Then that was your value. That is your value. The breath of God that has been put into your lungs, and his laws that have been put in your heart. The path God gives you when we humble ourselves before his plans for us, that's when we are our greatest. Because that's when we recognize that in him, I am everything. Without him, I'm just a wretch, a worthless pile of dirt, clay that was put together in the hands of the Creator. So I hope I can make this clear, because if you have children and you tell them, oh, self-esteem, but they've got crooked teeth and the world tells them they should have a straight smile, they're not going to feel it. They're going to feel bad. They're going to feel ugly. If you tell them to esteem their skills, esteem the fact that they're great in math or any other subject, whatever, you're still teaching them something that very subtly points the attention, points the value to them, and takes it off of God. But I will tell you, when you train that child to say, you're nothing, but God is in you. And with God in you, your gifts in math are fantastic. Because of God in you, that's why you're worthy, whether or not your smile is good or not. With God in you, you are the most invaluable, precious thing on this planet, along with everything else on this planet that has God in them. Because when you teach that to your child or your grandchild, you teach them that if you're no more valuable because of your looks or your teeth or your math skills or your ability to fill in the blank, your value is no greater than that person who is homeless on the street drinking alcohol. But your value is no less than that president of the country, that CEO of a company, that prima ballerina, that NFL star that they may esteem. So be careful of anything that has the word self and ponder it. Ponder it. Because if you think of the self, I don't want to be centered on the self. I don't want to esteem myself. It is funny. Once I stopped trying to esteem Christine Bacon, and I started realizing that I am nothing, but I have God, the God of the universe right here. With him in me, I can do anything. And I mean that. I do seek to have the mind of God, which means then I'll know which of those things that I can do anything that he wants me to do. I don't want to do anything he doesn't want me to do. I don't want to elevate myself. I want to lower myself so that I can be selfless and focus on others. I want God to be seen from my face. I want you to watch this video, let it go off, ponder it, and not remember Christine Bacon. I want you to remember God. I want you to remember years later, like, I heard on this video once, and I didn't remember that it was me. But the message, I want to realize my value apart from God is nothing. My value with God is that which I should esteem. And when you do that, you will start seeking God, and you will be at peace with God and with whatever it is you have or don't have, because you'll know, no matter what I have or don't have, it's all I need because I esteem God, the God of the universe. So be very, very careful. Keep your eyes open. Start looking at the language the culture uses. Self-esteem, self-awareness, self-centered, selfies, the self. I want people to know who I am. Be wary of that and focus instead on God. I hope this makes sense. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if there's any questions or comments that come to your mind because of this. And, if you want, I can address them. Just trying to do what God would have me do. That's it for today. Thanks for watching this informational Bacon Bit. I'm Dr. Christine Bacon, and please always remember to live your life sunny side up.